Meet Newsreel Asia's producer Maria. When Maria began the series Stories of Resilience, she thought she was documenting people's struggle. But what she really found were quiet revolutions. Moments where pain turned into purpose and loss became strength. Each story began with an ordinary life, and each showed her what it means to begin again. She met Nayana, a trans woman born in Udupi who was forced into sex work as her only means of livelihood.
Came to know that there is a hijra culture. There you can go and they adapt you into their family. I was matured enough to understand what is there, either begging or sex work.
But Naina had better plans for herself. She got educated, learned new skills, and found a job at an IT company, proving that dignity can be reclaimed even after the world denies it.
I was the first employee in that company. As a trans, I got hired. So they created job profile for me, vendor management, and I used to take care of finance.
There is another powerful woman who turned her painful experience into a group that helps other victims like herself. Pragya Prasoon, who survived an acid attack just days after her wedding.
You had a second attack also.
Yeah, so second attack happened when they took me out from the train, and they admitted me to Agra hospital, Pushpanjali hospital, for few hours. Till that time, this guy followed me till Pushpanjali hospital, and with 2 bottles of acid, and he wanted to come inside the ICU to put more acid on me.
She built the Ati Jeevan Foundation so that other survivors could heal, access surgeries, and find justice. Pragya not only overcame the trauma of the attack but also worked to improve the lives of other survivors like herself.
I made burn support groups. I started with Bangalore, and in different city I used to travel wherever there are burns ward, and I used to talk to those patients, and I used to held a 1-day workshop in different cities, in different locations, to have a collective where we can talk to each other about our pain, how we recovered from it, and to support each other in terms of emotionally, and guide them how I recovered and how I can help you.
The physical scars are painful, and so are the mental ones. Maria attempted to bring out the struggle of dealing with bipolar and borderline personality disorder.
What kind of pain hides behind a normal workday, behind a smile, behind silence? What happens when the world finally gives you a name for your suffering? Bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder.
A struggle Sangeeta lived through, surviving a suicide attempt before finding recovery.
I was completely lost. I started having a lot of emotional pain, which led to things like self-harm.
Sangeeta's story reminded that mental illness is not a weakness, and that survival can also mean learning to live with yourself again.
For a lot of people, this lockdown and thing was choking. But for me, it was kind of like a relief where I just had to go to work and just had to come back and just be, So that helped a lot. Like I want, that someone recognizes me and comes and tells me that you changed my life. Not that you're popular or I know you, I've seen you somewhere. Your statement changed my life. I want someday someone from anywhere to randomly appear and tell me that. That is one of my biggest dreams. And one more is to become a New York bestseller.
While Sangeeta fought her battle with BPD, Swati survived the long battle of cancer.
When I was diagnosed, the only thing in my mind was that my daughter's too young to be facing this and she needs a mother figure and a father figure with her. So my only prayer was that I should recover for so long, I should be healthy for so long that I'm able to give her a good life.
Swati, who found cancer while raising her child, showed that courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to keep moving through it.
My doctor connects me to the patients like myself of the same risk profile and age profile. And I, like a survivor body, speak to them, help them overcome their fears. Because the initial phase is either denial or anger or then why me. So, and I overcame that the hard way and I came out victorious. So I think I have a lot to contribute in that. And I speak to those people, I tell them how it was for me and it gets better. And you're not alone. The most important thing is you're not alone.
The series also featured another courageous woman, Swagata Majumdar, who lost her twins in 2020.
My immediate reaction after both my sons passed was to die. I mean, they go to heaven, right? They're going to heaven. Who's going to take care of them? They're babies. If I don't die and go to them, who are going to take care of my children? That was my first thought. And I think all women go through this. All women, all bereaved mothers have gone through this feeling that I don't want to live anymore.
She turned her grief into a support system for women who lost their children, breaking the silence around a pain often hidden.
I started talking about it on social media. People started commenting that you should not be posting your dead babies' pictures. Nothing stopped me. I was posting about celebrations every month, how I want to remember them. And I started seeing a lot of DMs from a lot of strangers saying that they wanted to connect with me because, they have gone through this. And right now, nobody understands them. And they would write things like, nobody, including my husband, understands me right now after my loss, except for you, Swagata.
These were stories of resilient women. And then there was Manish, a father who mothered, nurtured, and raised his daughter all by himself.
That was about 8 months old at that time. It's just that to have a pleasant environment that she grows up in, grows up happy, and then decides on her life, at least to give her an environment where she's able to grow well. And that is my primary responsibility, so I wanted to do that.
From learning what to pack in her lunchbox to explaining menstruation, he redefined what parenthood means, proving love does not fit into gender roles.
And also, again, not be biased against the institution of marriage or something. It's something that happened, but that does not mean that, it's like the grapes are sour kind of thing. It's not that you grow up thinking that marriages are not right. It happened, and we probably use that more as a learning to ensure that you have as normal a life, as normal a family, as normal a marriage as possible.
There was another single parent, Divya, who lost her husband in a car accident. She took charge of her life and her son's future.
I was completely lost because I was a person who was shadowed by my father, then it was my husband. So I didn't know how to live alone in this world. So that was a quite challenging thing. We came back to the home which we were in, and that's when we got time to be with each other with no one intervening. And that's when we started hugging and talking and crying. And it was a painful moment, but I'm happy that we did that and we knew each other's pain. I think currently I am placed much better than what I was.
Courage is the moment you stand up. Rashmi D'Souza escaped domestic violence with her 2 daughters and rebuilt her life.
That day, my husband scolded us for 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours non-stop, as if he's like hallucinated or say possessed by something. All extreme abusive words. That was absolute threshold breaking point for me.
Her story is a quiet reminder that freedom sometimes begins with a single decision to stop tolerating pain.
It's been 4.5 years that I'm separated. Now I feel, it was a bold decision, good bold decision that I took that time.
If not, maybe we wouldn't have had the life that we are living today.
While Rashmi got out of an abusive marriage, Purnima started her life after escaping bonded labor. She started a small tailoring business to survive.
ಬಾತ್ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೇಟಿಂದ ಹಸಿ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಾಯ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಿಂದೆ ಒಂದು ಬೈಲಿತ್ತು. ಆ ಬೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲುವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಗ್ಗಿ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ದಾಟಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಇದು ಮುಳ್ತಂತಿ ದಾಟಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ನಾವು ಆವಾಗ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ.
She didn't just rebuild her own life. She created work for others who had also been freed, turning survival into a community.
ಪೂರ್ಣಿಮಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನನ್ನ ಟೈಲರಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಘವನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು 4 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು.
Dreams and aspirations have no boundaries. Prema always dreamt of wearing a uniform. She wanted to be a police officer.
ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನ್ಯಾಗ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಿಲ್ಟ್ರಿ ಹೋಗ್ಯಾರ, ನಾನು ಕಾಕಿ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಸೆ ಬಂತ್ರಿ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮು ಶೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿಬಿಟ್ರಿ, ಗನ್ನುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಆಸೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು ರೀ. ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ರೀ.
She ultimately became the first woman BMTC driver in Bengaluru.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗಾಡಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಗದಿ ಖುಷಿಲಿಂದ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಫುಲ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ನೀಟಂಗೆ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವತ್ತು ಆ ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಸಂತೋಷಕ್ಕಿತ್ರ ಸಂತೋಷ ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
For her, the uniform was never about power. It was about belonging. Ten different stories, 10 different lives, different worlds, but the same thread: resilience, the refusal to let suffering define the story. They are people who kept going against all odds. Stories of Resilience is a series that reveals that hope is not born from waiting for life to be gentle. These are the people who showed what resilience truly means.